Welcome back, viewers. Our top focus is Karnataka, where skeletons are tumbling out as investigation intensified into the Dharmasthala horror files. Now, the special investigating team has reportedly found partial skeletal remains at the site. That is the site number 6, which we are specifically speaking of on the third day of the exhumation process. The search operation is being carried out based on allegations which were made by a former sanitation worker who has claimed that he was forced to bury bodies linked to the act of crime. 13 alleged burial sites were marked on Monday by the SIT as per the information which was given by the complainant. 5 of them were searched for 2 days, but no remains were found. Yesterday, SIT found partial skeletal remains at the site number 6 near the bathing ghat of the river. Soon after the finding, the partial skeletal remains, they were shifted from the site amidst tight security. Now, the remains, along with other samples from the site, they all are being examined or have been examined at the moment by the forensic team. My colleague Neha is joining us live on the broadcast. Neha, skeletons are tumbling out, and literally when we speak of the investigation into the Dharmasthala horror files, the SIT has reportedly found partial skeletal remains at the site. Take us through, one, what was found during the exhumation process and what happens next.
Well, yes, in fact, after nearly about 2 days there of exhumation and, having carried out the exhumation on various sites, now we're seeing that the SIT, in fact, on the 6th site, at the 6th site or the 6th spot where the whistleblower, in fact, directed them to, is where they've reported found partial skeletal remains is what's being said right now. Remember, of course, one thing there being that several people, of course, have also said that in and around that very area there, it's, possibly now difficult to actually find whole skeletons or whole, of course, remains over here, given that it's been many years now since these burials were done. And 2, also given the fact that it's been raining, and 3, the fact that, the topography there, the soil there also, not really, of course, allowing for, the skeletal remains to stay intact. So disintegration. Now, of course, if we're talking about what the SIT there has uncovered, yesterday, even as the SIT reached spot number 6, that was shown to them by the whistleblower, they've reportedly managed to, of course, find a partial skeletal remains there that's been seized now by them. What we do know, of course, at this point in time is that they are now going to be picking up, of course, these remains, collecting them. Now, possibly what happens next is going to be quite crucial. Going forward today, tomorrow, and possibly, of course, maybe even day after tomorrow, given the rains in the region there, until the collection of or until the exhumation of all of the sites is done, it's only once that's done that possibly now teams of the FSL and others would come in for their job. Now, what exactly, of course, happens here after all of those skeletal remains are found, it would possibly be sent now for testing to ascertain how old really these remains are, at least to get an average, to get an idea of roughly how long ago these date back to, followed by which possibly we'll really have to wait and see technically what procedures would then follow.
Well, absolutely. And the Dharmasthala, twists and turns obviously not ending. And the latest findings are going to be very crucial. Neha, we'll keep coming back to you for more on the same. Viewers, we are staying